How do we podcast?
I need my radio voice. This isn't it.
That sounds like a Jack Nicholson voice, and I hate you for that. Hello.
I can't talk now. I'm like, what is my voice? Wait, let me do another.
What does my voice sound like? What?
I just had like a whole existential crisis for a moment there. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm good.
Good.
I am ready to record this episode
Of
this podcast.
which is
Jess and Hids Make a Podcast.
boop boop.
This is episode 14 of season 2.
Wow.
64 episodes altogether, if you're counting.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And this is the kind of the first episode of our every other week.
Sort of.
schedule,
Yeah.
sort of.
Except we kind of skipped. I don't know.
It's been a while and we have forgotten how to podcast. It's been a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
we've been doing other things.
We have like our new podcast that if you are listening to this on Thursday, our brand new podcast was released yesterday on Wednesday. You should definitely look it up and listen to it
Yeah.
if you're interested in actual play D&D podcasts.
It's fun.
It
was
is really fun. Look for A Tale of Two Kobolds.
Wherever you find your podcasts.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Soon it'll be
Soon.
everywhere.
yeah. I think there are still a couple places I need to list it because I need to prove that I'm human or something. Anyway,
Oh, no.
it'll happen.
It'll never be listed. I mean, of course, it is easy to prove that you are human.
Oh, boy.
I do it all the time.
I'm not a robot.
I am not a robot. Not even a little bit.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I had a massage today.
Well, that's good.
It was very good, very, very much needed because my shoulder's been being really stupid. But it feels better today.
Yeah. I did not have a massage today.
I know, you should.
I just worked.
I should get you a gift massage.
I have 2 of them somewhere, 2 gift cards to get massages.
Well, dang it, girl.
Somewhere. One of them's from you.
Oh, yeah. My gosh, that's like from forever ago.
Yeah. I don't even know where it is anymore.
That's sad.
I know. You know what else just randomly popped into my mind?
What?
We have gift certificates to the nail salon.
And to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. We have to go get
That's
our
like free
pedicures
food and-
before Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured mine's
Yeah.
right
I
there.
need to find mine.
Mine's right there. I actually found it the other day.
See, I have a problem with getting gift cards and losing them.
What you need is a shelf like this, and then you just put everything
Put everything on the shelf. So it's
everything
there
on the shelf. You
somewhere.
know it's there. And then when you need it, you just look through it all.
I think I have a almost idea of where the salon one is.
Cool.
I know the restaurant one is on the fridge.
Yes. Yes. We should
Yes.
do that. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. We have binged 7 seasons of Psych in the past 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's so good.
It is really good. Highly recommend. Come on, son.
Come on, son.
How
I
do we
woke up-
podcast? What do we do?
I got to tell you something.
Okay.
Last night, I was laying in bed, and one of the cats jumped on me, and I woke up, I was like, I started laughing. Oh, this is like, oh my
It's
gosh.
funny.
It's just funny how I pick things up like that, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's what I'm going to do now until something else comes.
Yep.
Podcasting. So how we do this, we record like this. We have this little back and forth banter.
Check.
And okay, we've done that. Now I say, what's your topic? No, I messed up. Now
No,
we have
that
to
is
say-
actually what you usually say. And then I have to say, no, we have to draw cards.
Okay, I did see the Uno cards out of the corner of my eye. How does that? Oh, you have it written
I
down.
have
You're so smart.
a convenient piece of paper here with the rules that I made up for season 2 of this podcast, where we use Uno cards to determine who goes first.
It's very complicated. Let's go
It's
back to just doing
not.
the dice again.
I mean, we could do that for season 3.
Okay.
Okay, you draw first
Why do I draw first?
because I got the cards out.
I got the other cards out.
Cards are also in my drawer, so I get them out every week.
Okay.
Higher card goes first.
I don't ever remember. I think so.
Yeah. Oh, I got to draw 4.
How does that work?
I've never done this. Okay, wild draw 4. I get to go through the draw pile and choose a special card to use later.
Okay.
It also works the same as a wild, which is on a tie, you can change the color of your card or draw again. The draw again can happen anytime. So I can draw again. What's your card? You have to show me your card. A 6. Okay. So, oh man.
So you can either draw again now, or you can pick a card to use later. But who goes
I
first?
guess I don't know.
Hey,
that's the
who
part
made
that I
these
didn't.
rules?
That's the part that I didn't figure out. Is are wild cards considered higher than number cards?
I mean,
Because like I specified that on a tie, I can change the color because we have rules for
ties.
ties and colors.
I think you should go first because you messed up the rules.
I did. But I am going to go through the deck and pick another fun card for me to use later.
Okay, fine. Man, you are making such a face at me. Holy
Let's
cow.
see, what do these cards
It's
mean?
that little scout finch. I just about expected you to hiss at me. Like, come on, son.
Okay. So draw 2 is before cards are drawn, we use a draw 2 card to make the other person draw 2 and take the lowest.
Okay. So like
A
disadvantage.
skip is you play a skip card to avoid having to draw, and like the other person just automatically goes first.
Mm-hmm.
The reverse card is like that's when you hang on to,
Mm-hmm.
and if you draw
A low card. I've done that to you.
you draw a low card, you can play reverse and and then the wild card and the draw 4 card. Okay.
So you're going first.
I guess so. I feel like fine. That's fine.
Okay, hey,
But,
I
like-
went first in the other podcast.
Wait. I don't think that's how that works.
It is now. It is today. Because you don't know how to play this game. So it's Calvin Ball, man. We're playing Calvin Ball now.
Okay.
Making up the rules as we go.
I'm going to fix that because I think wild cards should count for something when you draw them because all
you
the other
get to
special
pick all
cards
the other
do.
cards.
Well, but what about like the plain wild card? It does nothing unless you have a draw.
Oh,
I guess that's when you
man.
just hold on to and just play
Yeah.
it in the case of a draw. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have just held on to this one. I don't know. I see there are things that I didn't think about when I was creating the rules. Of
They
this.
were. You probably created them at like 2 a.m. So
I did.
it's understandable.
It was definitely right after we recorded that one session that I said I was going to make the rules.
Which
and
was
then-
probably done after a pie session because
Yeah.
that was when we worked till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then came home and
so, yeah.
recorded because we hadn't recorded yet. I will say, like, there are moments where I'm like, man, I kind of miss making pies. And then I go, yeah, I like being at home.
I miss the making of the pies, but yeah, I definitely
Everything
like-
else I don't
Yeah.
miss at all. And like, we actually have the option to be like, you know, it's 11. Let's just go to bed.
I know. Like as soon
We
as
never
we start
do.
feeling tired.
I just want to
Oh, we
clarify,
definitely
we
don't.
never ever do that.
Yeah.
But we have the option to, which
Yeah.
we didn't before. So that's nice.
Yes.
That's very nice.
Okay.
So what's your topic?
So
you were
I'm going
excited.
first.
And you
wa-
said you're going to buy a book.
I did buy a book.
Oh, you did buy a book. Oh.
I bought it in secret on
Oh.
Kindle because I know you
Secret.
don't really track the Kindle
No, I don't.
orders on
I
Amazon.
don't.
Like we share an Amazon account, so if it were a physical book, you would have seen that I did it. But
I have bought a few physical books that I've had people mail to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can you go buy this book? And I'll...
But it's sneaky if I buy it on Kindle because you would have to go actually dig in the digital orders section to see what I buy.
I rarely even open Kindle, so.
Yeah. So I have been reading this book the past 2 days, and I highly recommend it.
Educate me.
I first have a quote from this book.
Okay.
It is when we connect to nature with all our senses that the magic happens and our lives can be transformed. Immersed in the natural world, we can experience the miracle of life and connect to something larger than ourselves. Nature takes our breath away and breathes new life into us.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I know. So that's a quote from the author of the book, Dr. Ching Li, in his book, Forest Bathing, How Trees Can Help You Find Health and Happiness.
You got Sylvotherapy.
I got Sylvotherapy. So like I said, I highly recommend this book to anybody who wants to learn more about Sylvotherapy, also known as, where's the word? Shinrin-yoku is the Japanese practice of forest bathing.
Can we go this weekend and find a forest and sit in it?
Yes, I want to, especially after reading this book. And I want to actually read it in earnest because I skipped a lot of the sections that I knew I wasn't going to talk about here and kind of skimmed through the rest of it. So I actually want to read it and take it all in because it's really cool. And I love, it starts off by talking about how Japanese culture is just steeped in nature. Mm-hmm. And the two major religions in Japan are very nature-based. And a lot of the folklore and traditions spring up from nature.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But it also dives into the science of forest bathing and how being out in nature or even just looking at pictures of nature can be beneficial. But I'll get into that.
I'm totally on board. I love being out and looking at trees. I just love being near trees and in trees and by trees.
Me too.
Let's go get it. We're going to go be around trees this weekend somehow, somewhere. Okay.
I'm trying to think about what we have going on
I know.
This
I'm like,
weekend,
let me go look at the schedule.
Okay.
Can we do that? Do we have that?
Saturday's my birthday.
Oh, right.
So we can't. We have the game in the morning, but we can't.
Oh, yeah, we don't have anything in that. Okay, we're gonna go do something in the trees.
If anybody wants to join us Saturday on my birthday, we're gonna go hike somewhere, maybe out in trees,
even if we
in
just
the forest.
Drive half a mile down the road and sit under a tree.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna go somewhere.
Do that trail and show though.
Oh yeah. Oh, I also saw another one.
Pines.
Someone else was talking about a trail number 633, I think, or 663 in Pine Top. I'll find it again.
Yeah. But, there's also my mom knows it. I think it's around Sholo Lake. They have just a walking path that goes all the way around the lake.
Okay. Oh, that's tree and water.
Yeah. It's great. That's optimal forest bathing area. Okay.
Let's do it.
So the word Sylvotherapy, going to talk about that first. It's derived from the Latin word silva, meaning wood or forest. So Sylvo can be interpreted as from the forest or of the woods. And then you have therapy, which is, therapy. So it's forest therapy.
I love it.
It is the practice or process of therapeutic relaxation where you spend time in a forest or natural atmosphere, focusing on sensory engagement to connect with nature.
Okay.
In Japan, I mentioned it's called Shinrin-yoku. And actually, if you Google Sylvotherapy, one of the first hits you're going to get is the Wikipedia page for Shinrin-yoku. It translates to forest bathing, which is another name for the practice. So, why is it a thing? How did it come about?
Yes.
Biophilia is the concept that humans have a biological need to connect with nature. The word is Greek, meaning love of life and the living world. It's a concept that was made popular by the American biologist E.O. Wilson in 1984. He believed that because we evolved in nature, we have a biological need to connect with it. We love nature because we learned to love the things that helped us to survive. We feel comfortable in nature because that's where we have lived for most of our life on Earth. We're genetically determined to love the natural world. It's in our DNA, and this affinity for the natural world is fundamental to our health. Contact with nature is as vital to our well-being as regular exercise and a healthy diet. And that totally makes sense. Humans have been using natural remedies for all kinds of things since antiquity.
Since forever.
Yeah. Since humans have been around. And so, of course, we feel this natural connection to it. It totally makes sense that it's in our DNA. Back 2,500 years ago, Cyrus the Great had lush gardens in the crowded urban capital of Persia to increase people's health and promote a sense of calm in a busy city. And then in the 16th century, you had the Swiss-German physician Paracelsus. He said, the art of healing comes from nature, not from the physician, which, talk to a physician too if you need healing.
Do please see a doctor as well, but yes.
But a lot can come from nature. He had that part right. So back to Shinrin-yoku, how long do you think that's been a thing?
Oh my gosh. A long time. Because Japan has centuries. They're super old. The culture.
They're so old.
The culture is ancient, before Greece and all that, right? I don't know my timelines. I feel so dumb right now.
No, it's okay. You're gonna be amazed though. Okay. The term Shinrin-yoku was coined in 1982.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
By
new age hippie person, right?
No. Okay. Tomohide Akiyama, who was the director of the Japanese Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries.
Oh.
So, politician. After several studies were conducted in Japan during the 1980s, forest bathing was seen to be an effective therapy method. So, Akiyama officially put forward Shinrin-yoku as a recognized practice, promoting its benefits to the Japanese public and establishing guidelines for its implementation. He was of the impression that if you introduce this practice as a way of healing to relieve stress and depression and also several other health benefits, you can also sort of establish the practice of protecting these natural areas as well. So it kind of served two functions.
That makes perfect sense.
Human health, and because it was providing all these benefits to humans, they would want to protect it more.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So you're right, though. Japan has been using natural methods and knows the value of being out in nature. Mm-hmm. They have been practicing forest bathing for centuries, but it didn't become a thing, an actual terminology. Shinrin-yoku wasn't a thing until 82.
That's hilarious that I was like, oh, centuries.
Yeah.
Like not even, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't correct me on that, please.
So
I know.
It was developed and then made popular in other countries because of it was like a response to the increasing urbanization and technological advancements happening in the world in the 80s. Another phrase that was coined, I don't have it in my notes, but it's, what is it called? Techno something. Techno break while I look up the word. Man, hang on.
Boots and pets and boots and pets and boots and pets. Techno green. Green space 3.
No.
Technobabble.
Sort of like technobabble. Techno stress.
Techno stress sounds good.
Doot 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 doot. I can't find the word. I'm going to say techno stress.
Techno stress works. I like it.
Huh. I'm mad at myself for not remembering the word because I thought it was kind of a fun word. It's in the book.
Okay. Oh, well, when I read the book, I'll say, there's that word Jess wanted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, forget I said that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was made popular in the 80s because of the advancements in technology. People were getting stressed. And
I mean, that makes sense because that was like everything started really kicking off, like computer-wise. Like people started having home computers and, there were just more, the video games like Atari and Nintendo and Sega started coming out. And people are like more, VHS and all of that is, you're more in tune to what's on TV instead of being outside. Yeah. I mean, we were still
in the 80s,
kicked outside. I mean, like
totally went out.
Yeah. It was like, sun's up, get outside, come back before dark. I'm like, okay, but can I no, go. Mm-mm. Okay, fine. I'm thirsty. There's a hose.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. There's apples on the tree, probably. Go look for them. Yeah, it's just like.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. I didn't have an apple tree, so I didn't
we didn't
that
either.
One. So how do you practice forest bathing?
You go outside and you just
Shinrin-yoku.
Stand under a tree. No, there's probably a definitive way. Like
there's like a lot of different levels you can go.
Okay.
But first and foremost, you want to look for a place in nature where you can feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And the book says somewhere that will fill your heart with joy.
Oh,
yeah.
I have that too. Like when we're out in the petrified forest, and there's no. Well, I guess there are trees there, sort of.
Well,
but there's not like standing trees.
Yeah,
but
not
that's also.
trees.
I can call that like petrified Sylvotherapy.
Yeah,
it makes me happy to be out there.
Yeah, there's probably like this forest bathing doesn't have to be in a forest. It can be anywhere in nature. You can get the same benefits. It doesn't have to be around green trees, stuff like that. It's just outside.
But trees are beautiful and wonderful, and we should all go hug one.
So Dr. Chingley recommends you find a forest or anywhere out in nature that has a path with gentle slopes, a wide path that's well maintained, trails free from pollutants, far from the noise of traffic or cities. And it's cool if you're near a body of water as well. He also suggests trails that are at least 5K in length, 5 kilometers. Mm-hmm. But he does say to make sure that you either have a guide or know your way around so you don't get lost.
This guy is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he's like, look, I have this healthy thing for you to do. It requires all these things that are also part of my other job in the game and fishery hatchery.
Oh, no. This is the guy that wrote the book, Dr. Chingley.
Oh, I thought we were still
talking
about the guy.
We're not talking about the guy in the 80s.
I'm sorry.
This guy is still living.
Okay. I'm sorry. But they would have made a great team.
You know what? I guess the guy in the 80s is probably still living too.
Geez, I hope so. I guess it depends on how old he was in the 80s. But also, like, I'm like, these two would have made a great team. Like,
yeah, I think so.
Hey, here's how to be healthy. Oh, here's how to, look, we should pave these paths or maintain them in a nice gravel form. So,
he also definitely suggests that you ditch your phone and any tech. So, like, I would say that if you plan on going out in the middle of a forest, maybe keep your phone in case you do get lost, but turn it off.
Turn off notifications. Yeah. You need to save that battery anyway.
Yeah.
In case you get lost.
A Shinrin-yoku session should just be you and nature. You want to move slow and just kind of take your time. It's not meant to be a hike. It's not meant to be exercise. Just be out there. Walk leisurely. The goal is to take in your surroundings by engaging all 5 senses. You can listen to the birds singing and the breeze rustling in the leaves of the trees. You can look at the different greens of the trees and the sunlight filtering through the branches. You can smell the fragrance of the forest and breathe in the natural sort of aromatherapy, the essential oils that the trees are producing. You can taste the freshness of the air as you take deep breaths. You can place your hands on the trunk of a tree, feel the bark, dig your fingers in the soil, crunch some leaves that you pick up off the ground. You can dip your fingers or toes in a stream. You can lie on the ground. They definitely recommend that you take your shoes off. Touch grass.
Touch grass, baby.
Yeah. He says, drink in the flavor of the forest.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hiking tomorrow after work. I'm just going to go sit under a tree.
I'll be teaching a yoga class. So, yeah. Which is also a recommended thing that you can do in the forest to practice forest bathing. You can do some nice, gentle yoga.
I love it.
Poses. Dr. Lee has tips for forest bathing. He says an optimum time to spend in the forest is around 4 hours, during which time you should aim to walk about 5 kilometers. But shorter bursts work too. If you only have the morning, why not try a 2-hour walk of about 2.5 kilometers? So like a 5K in 4 hours, you're moving extremely slow.
Yeah, very slow.
Which is kind of the point.
Yeah, I like that though.
He says if you feel tired, you can take a rest anywhere and anytime you like. If you feel thirsty, you can drink water or tea anywhere and anytime you like. Japan is all about the tea ceremony, where you take your time with everything. Preparing the tea, pouring the tea, steeping the tea, even cleaning out all of the tea things is all part of the ceremony. And they recommend that you can do that in a forest therapy session.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I ordered us some buckwheat tea.
Oh, cool.
I hope it's good.
Yeah. Dr. Lee also says, find a place in the forest you like. Then you can sit for a while and read or just enjoy the beautiful scenery. Choose the forest bathing path that suits your needs. If you want to give your immune system a powerful boost, go for a 3-day, 2-night forest bathing trip. So like a whole camping trip.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Forest bathing is a preventative measure against disease. If you come down with an illness, I recommend that you see a doctor.
Please see a doctor.
Was the last thing.
But like, I do agree, like being out in nature and getting kind of that freshness and all of that can help your immune system.
Yeah.
I mean, and rather than just always staying indoors in processed air that's been filtered and
for sure.
Caveat to all that, if you have immunity issues or health issues that, being outside is bad for you, please, like, don't do that.
Don't.
Like,
yeah. Well, you can also practice Shinrin-yoku without being in the forest. Parks and gardens work too, but even looking out the windows at work or at home or keeping plants in your home can give you the same benefits. Even just pictures of nature can have the same effect. Just looking at pretty pictures of nature. I have a quote from Frederick Law Olmsted, who is the landscape designer who designed Central Park. He said that enjoyment of scenery employs the mind without fatigue and yet exercises it, tranquilizes it and yet enlivens it, and thus, through the influence of the mind over the body, gives the effect of refreshing rest and reinvigoration to the whole system. So he just says enjoyment of scenery does all of those things. And I agree.
I agree as well.
We've got cats playing with toys in the background. So getting to the science behind Shinrin-yoku and some of the studies that were done.
Blind me.
With science. So many studies have been done that have given evidence that the forest bathing can improve the following: the immune system function, cardiovascular system, which helps with hypertension and coronary artery disease. The respiratory system helps with allergies and respiratory disease. Depression and anxiety can help with mood disorders and stress. Mental relaxation, specifically for people with ADHD. And human feelings of awe, which is increase in gratitude and selflessness. So you can be a nicer human just by practicing forest bathing.
Everybody right now go out and touch some grass.
Yeah.
Be nicer humans.
So about the boost to immune system, Many experiments have shown that Shinrin-yoku is associated with increasing levels of natural killer cells, which are the white blood cells that are important in fighting infection. They're called natural killer cells. The decrease in blood pressure and stress. Participants of several studies were seen experiencing a decrease in pulse rate, blood pressure, and concentration of the stress hormone cortisol while walking through a forest or even just a few hours. The power of the essential oils emitted within plant life in forests can reduce stress with the decrease in cortisol concentration. So like they're specifically relating the smells emitted from the plants decreasing cortisol levels, which helps with blood pressure. It's crazy.
All makes so sense.
I know.
So much sense. Sorry. That was a weird sentence. It makes so sense.
It makes no sense.
It just does.
Shinrin-yoku can also improve sleep. There was a study that showed how forest bathing improved sleep for a group of people who suffered from sleep complaints like insomnia, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, or waking up too early. The study group walked for 2 hours in a forest in Japan. Sleep was measured the night before and the night after, and comparisons were made between the 2 nights and between people who walked in the morning and in the afternoon. The average sleep time of participants after a 2-hour forest walk increased by 15% or 54 minutes. Participants were significantly less anxious after a 2-hour walk in the forest, and quality of sleep was better after forest bathing. Afternoon walks improved the quality of sleep more than morning walks. So now I'm like, when we get home from work, let's just do a quick walk.
And yeah. And maybe we'll actually sleep.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, well, yeah, I'm going to be tired because
walking.
But also, like, you can be tired and still not get a good night's sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Faux show.
I'm always tired. That's my secret.
That's my secret, Cap. Forest bathing can also improve your mood. There's a substance in the soil that we breathe in when we walk in the forest that makes us feel happier. It's a common and harmless bacteria called Microbacterium vaccae. Vaccae. I believe it's a kasa.
I think so.
Situation, vaccae. The benefits of Microbacterium vaccae were discovered kind of by accident by Dr. Mary O'Brien, who was an oncologist in London. She was conducting an experiment to see if injecting patients with lung cancer with Microbacterium vaccae would boost their immune systems and help them fight the disease. Her experiment found no proof that it did, but she did make an unexpected discovery. The injection of the bacteria significantly improved patient quality of life. Her patients reported feeling more positive and having higher energy levels and better cognitive functioning.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's a bacteria found in soil.
I mean, so is anthrax.
So was the bacteria that took me out for 6 months when it lodged in my spine.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, there's a lot of bad bacteria, so please don't go eat dirt.
But this bacteria is bacteria that you breathe in.
Okay. That is wild, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's just in the things we've gone over, a few things in this podcast and things I've learned over time, like the number of, was looking for something else and found this cool thing.
This. Yeah.
It's like,
so this bacteria was also injected into mice by scientists at Bristol University in the UK. They were trying to find out why, when people become sick, they often become depressed. When they injected the mice, they found that the mice behaved as though they were on antidepressants.
Wow.
It was interesting in itself, but the scientists also discovered something else. They discovered that the neurons which were activated were those associated with the immune system, which suggested that there is a close connection between the immune system and our emotions. So
I can believe that.
The soil stimulates the immune system, and a boosted immune system makes us happy. And happy people just don't kill their husbands. They just don't.
I was going to go with happy people don't go adventuring, but both work.
Oh, no, I was quoting Legally Blonde.
No, I know what
so,
you were
you know.
I was
You were
quoting Critical Role.
Yeah. All right. Forest bathing can also improve cognitive function. Nature has the power to help us solve problems and to break through creative blocks. Research at the universities of Utah and Kansas looked at the effect on creative reasoning skills of being immersed in nature for a number of days. The researchers concluded that there is a real measurable cognitive advantage to be realized if we spend time truly immersed in a natural setting, and found that spending time in nature can boost problem-solving ability and creativity by 50%.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah.
We seriously... Holy Moses. We need to go hiking more. We used to go hiking all the time.
I know. And we wrote a book.
And
And
you
now
know what?
We're stuck.
We haven't been hiking, and our poor little book is just sitting there waiting to be finished.
Although we did have a brain break.
The other day, we came up with...
We had a brain blast.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Brain blast.
Research from the University of Melbourne. Yep. Has shown that all it takes is a green micro break. That's what it's called, a green micro break.
I love that.
To restore us when we are mentally fatigued. The study found that it can take as little as 40 seconds of looking out the window at a natural scene to help us focus and stay alert.
Do you know what?
What?
I 100% agree with that, because today at work, I was zoning out and it started raining, and the smell of
that
rain
just invigorated all of us.
Man, we were all, the whole mood shifted.
I stepped outside for a little bit to just smell the rain, and I got the breeze in my face. Seriously, was out there for 30 seconds, took a deep breath, came back in.
It was just the whole mood.
Yeah.
Because the morning was kind of crabby morning for everybody because of sales agents and crap. But but the whole mood shifted. We were all just smiling and happy after that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, other research from the University of Rochester in New York State demonstrates that just a brief glimpse of the color green before doing a creative task is enough to enhance creative performance. How wild is that?
That's insane.
Researchers from University of Michigan, their psychology department, have shown that taking 10 minutes to look at pictures of nature is enough to improve cognitive performance.
What?
Yeah. So you don't even have to be out and touch grass, although
do that if you can. But
definitely helps.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start printing pictures and taping them all over the place.
That's how hardwired it is into our DNA, though.
Yeah.
We can look at the color green
and be happier.
Something inside us is ooh, nature. This cat is hilarious. He's got a whole obstacle course he built.
And it's just I just, out of the corner of my eye, this whole tent thing is lifting up. It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to we should paint our ceiling green.
Okay.
We could paint the brick green, couldn't we?
We could. It's
ugly
kind of just depends on the color of green we go with, because it could be.
We should probably paint it white first and then green.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that old 1980s school green.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That would make us all depressed.
Yeah. So my high school colors were green and white. Mm-hmm. And in our locker rooms specifically, we had about 5 different colors of green in there. There was tile in the floor that was one color. The lockers were one color. The walls were another color. The benches were another color. And the stalls in the bathrooms were another color. It was all different shades of green. And we're who designed this? This was a fairly new building.
That's
weird.
They just maybe all the numbers were just
things.
If it's green, throw it in there. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
But it was apparently it was invigorating and helped cognitive function in the locker room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Where did I leave off?
Looking at
10
green
minutes
things.
To look at pictures. Yes. It also helps to soothe and calm our minds. Sylvotherapy does. We pay attention differently when we're out in nature.
Yeah, we're watching for all the things that are going to eat us. Actually, no, I totally zone out and I'm just like, I love just look at the trees. I do like see birds more. Like,
yeah, no, it's a different sort of noticing things.
I do see a lot of bones.
Yeah. In the 19th century, a man by the name of William James, who was the brother of novelist Henry James, explained that there are two ways of paying attention. The first is voluntary or directed, which is used for tasks that demand effort and concentration. It's what we use when we are at work or driving or even just navigating our way along a busy street. All sorts of things demand our directed attention, our voluntary attention. And because of this, mental fatigue can set in super quick.
Yeah.
The second kind of paying attention is involuntary, sometimes called, and I love this term, soft fascination.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Involuntary attention requires no mental effort. It just comes naturally. This is the kind of attention we use when we're out in nature. Our minds are captured effortlessly by clouds and sunsets, by the movement of leaves in the breeze, by waterfalls and streams, by the sound of birds, the whisper of the wind. These soothing sights and sounds give our mental resources a break. So we are noticing things, definitely being aware of our surroundings, but it's a different sort of paying attention. It doesn't require huge mental effort and it doesn't bring on that fatigue. Soft fascination allows our minds to wander and reflect and restore our capacity to think more clearly.
We're going hiking Saturday.
For sure.
It's just going to have to happen.
So this book, I just kind of, like I said, I kind of skimmed the surface of it. It does go more into like the science, the specifics of a lot of things. And it even gives like real world, like almost testimonials. Like, you know, the author is a teacher. And so he goes out with his students every week and gets feedback from them. He even has like some exercises in the book that he lays out that like you can do while you're out walking in nature to sort of dip your toe into forest bathing.
Oh, that's cool.
I definitely recommend it. And once again, it is it's called Forest Bathing: How Trees Can Help You Find Health and Happiness by Dr. Ching Li, Qingli. Ching Li. That's pretty much all I have, but I have some neat little things.
I love neat little things.
So first, the Japanese Friendship Garden in Phoenix holds regular Shinrin-yoku workshops, and we should definitely go to one.
Yes, we should. The cat
is wild right now. I just had to protect my computer.
I'm just like, okay. Yes, we're doing that.
Next,
I want to go there anyway.
I know. I've always wanted to. Well, always since the couple years I knew it was in existence. Yeah,
when we learned it was in existence, we wanted to go there.
A couple years ago. There are therapy forests in existence in the world. The first therapy forest was established in 2009 in South Korea. The Korea Forest Service opened up the Sineum National Recreation Forest, which was the first therapeutic forest. And in these therapeutic forests, they have actual trails, like varying lengths and, you know, depending on what you're looking for. And along these trails, they have stations with physicians stationed there that can check your blood pressure, your heart rate, just all the things. They have actual therapists that practice there and guides that will walk you through the entire forest therapy session.
I want to go to there.
They are established places, and the first one was established in Korea in 2009. And since then, as of 2020, there are 32 therapeutic forests in South Korea. I'm not sure if there are more now because
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
And I know like other countries have gotten on the bandwagon and have, I think Finland was another one that was one of the first to open an actual therapeutic forest.
I want to go there too.
Or maybe a program of some kind. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
That is very cool.
Final neat little thing. March 21st was International Forest Day. So happy late International Forest Day.
Aw. That's so cool.
Yeah.
We're going hiking this weekend.
Yeah. Faux show.
Faux show.
Okay. What's your topic?
Oh, wow. Wow. Just shift gears.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to go sit in the forest now. But it's like dark time, so I don't want to go sit in the forest right now.
We can't record in the forest. I mean, we can if we had our little mics and a charger for my computer.
Yeah, but we're also supposed to be in the forest without tech, except for your phone so you don't get lost.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll do it now, and we'll go sit in the forest later.
Okay.
My topic was suggested by AJ.
Oh, my brother.
Your brother.
My bro. I don't even think he listens to the podcast, but thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ. Go listen to the podcast, man. Amelia Earhart is who I'm going to talk about. I got another awesome woman from history.
Yay, I'm so excited.
And like we were talking today about synchronicities.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say the synchronicity.
Oh, what was yours?
Just the whole focus on Japan.
Oh, I know, because we've like, I'm like, I want to just move to Japan.
I know. For some reason, at some point in my Facebook scrolling, I came across a group that lists cheap housing in Japan. And like, it's really cheap. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Compared to the housing situation, at least where we live, you can get a house in Japan for super cheap. There are like
Super
regulations
nice
and stuff for out of country not citizens to purchase. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with looking at all the real estate that's available in Japan.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's affordable, and I want to go to there.
Yeah. And then in the D&D game that you're running, we have modeled a village to be very Japanese-esque, Japanese-inspired.
Mm-hmm.
The architecture.
Yeah.
And like the landscape and everything.
Yeah.
Which is fun. And then in the D&D game that we played tonight,
I know, that was
again,
wild.
There was some nods to Japanese culture.
Yeah, that was wild. You said that during the break. You're like, oh, speaking of synchronicities, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's funny. So my synchronicities for Amelia, we just watched Night at the Museum.
Yep.
And Amelia Earhart's in there.
And then the Bob's Burger episode.
The Bob's Burger episode. So I actually drew this card, and I think like the night after that or 2 nights after that was when we watched the Bob Burgers episode with Louise doing her project on Amelia Earhart.
Gosh, that's awesome.
And because I was like kind of going back and forth, I was like, I don't know if I want to dive into that one or save it and then I watched that and I just was like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to do Amelia Earhart for Louise. Because Louise was very sad that Amelia Earhart did this amazing thing and then just crashed into the ocean and was lost.
Mm-hmm.
But what? There's a lot of more information that Louise missed out on because more stuff has come out. Ooh. And I struggled like deciding where I wanted to start this. Like, did I want to go over, who Amelia was previously, how she ended up, becoming this person who was flying? Like, she actually had a sponsor. There was, and I didn't write it down, there was a lady there was a socialite who bought a plane and was going to be the first woman to fly. And when her family found out, they were like, oh no, sweetheart, sit down. You're not.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, fine, I'm going to put a woman in this plane. And she got Amelia. And
that's cool.
because Amelia was already doing some piloting and stuff. And she was like, you're going to do it. So that was really cool. I didn't know that part.
I didn't know that either.
And that's like very brief. There was actually more history with that, but that's just a very brief like synopsis of that. So I was going to go into like who she was before she did this thing. But then I found this YouTube video that aired January of this year.
Oh.
On Today I Learned Science is the name of the YouTube channel, and I will link this. And pretty much all of my stuff is coming from that because it's all the things I didn't know. Like, Amelia Earhart, she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, and she died.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I knew.
That's what I know.
That's what okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she didn't crash.
I know some of the theories.
Her plane didn't crash. It landed. And I'm going to tell you what this guy who has spent the last 40 years of his life and millions of dollars with this group that he's a part of. And not just him, but like people all around in England and different places who have done this research. It's fascinating. So I'm going to try to give you a brief overview because the YouTube episode was like 2 hours long and we don't have that much time.
I just know the coconut crab theory.
I'm going to go into that too because he's a firm believer that it wasn't coconut crabs.
Okay.
We'll go into that. But first I'm going to go and give you a list of what Amelia, like her distinguishments. I think that's how a word.
Okay.
The things that she did. Okay.
Achievements?
Achievements. Thank you. That's the right distinguishment. I don't know. She was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean in 1928. The first woman to fly an autogyro, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but she was the first woman to fly it in 1931. She was the first woman to cross the United States in an autogyro in 1931. She's the first woman to fly the Atlantic solo in 1932. She was the first woman to fly nonstop coast to coast across the United States in 1932. She was the first person to fly the Atlantic twice. She was the first person to fly solo between Honolulu, Hawaii and Oakland, California in 1935. Aww. She was the first person to fly solo from Los Angeles to Mexico City in 1935. First person to fly solo nonstop from Mexico City to Newark, New Jersey in 1935. The first person to fly solo from the Red Sea to Karachi in 1937. She held the world altitude record for women, 14,000 feet in 1922. The women's speed transcontinental record in 1933. Speed records for 100K flight, 62 miles, with 500 pounds of cargo. I don't know why that's a thing. In 1931, she held the altitude record for autogyros, which is 18,415 feet, also in 1931. The speed record for east to west flight from Oakland, California to Honolulu, Hawaii in 1937, and the first woman to receive the Distinguished Flying Cross in 1932.
Wow.
I knew none of that.
Yeah.
All I ever learned, first woman to fly across the Atlantic.
Yep.
And I'm just like, okay. So there's all her great achievements. And anyway, okay. So this YouTube interview is with Rick Gillespie, who's with a group called TIGHAR, TIGHAR, which is the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery. And I will post a link to this YouTube video. He does this thing where he's always... So if that really bothers you, just kind of tune it out because it's full of good information.
Can't.
And I'm sorry. I'm just going to warn you, he does that. And if I do it, please reach across the table and slap me.
I haven't yet.
Okay. Oh no, do I do it?
You just do the...
Oh, I do. I know I do. I hate it. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm going to do it right now.
It's always after there's a...
Oh, I do that. It's because I can't breathe. I'm going to drink some tea really quick because my mouth is getting dry.
I've been sitting here sipping on my tea too.
This is really good tea. This is some of the Dragon Marsh tea that we got. It's the cool. Transylvania 65000.
Oh, Transylvania 65000. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the end.
The end. It's really good tea. Anyway. Okay, so this guy has spent 40 years researching and looking for Amelia and finding out information and trying to put stuff together. And in 1988, he was approached by two retired military navigators. They were both named Tom. And I didn't write down their last names. No relation. I want to say it was Tom Willie and Tom something else. And I didn't write down their last names because I just wrote Tom and Tom.
Tom Willie and Tom something else.
Yep.
Okay.
If you say it really quick, something else.
Yeah.
So they
that
called
was the
him
joke.
and they said, hey, we've got this theory. And he's like, I've heard them all. And they're like, no. We've got this one and we want to explain it to you. So they went up to Delaware where he was and they sat down and they said, so the Coast Guard cutter Itasca was like kind of following Amelia's transmissions as she was making this flight from across the Pacific.
Okay.
And they said the last message they got from her was that she was running on line. I think I wrote this backward. 337157 is how it is supposed to be, and I wrote it backwards. So it's 337157. And they were like, if she was running that line, that would have taken her straight across this island, Gardner Island, as it was known then. And no one lived there. And so they were like, people went and looked there. Like people did look at Gardner Island. And so these two navigators, they were like, this line. So when the Navy went and searched, I got a little turned around in my notes here. Sorry. They had a battleship that they sent that had 3 planes, and they were like, well, yeah, there was a thing on Gardner Island, like it looked like a piece of something, but we just have figured it was natives in the area. And the rest of their search focused on open ocean because one of the last things was that 157,337, or flip it. I did it backwards again.
I don't know what that means anyway.
It's a navigational line.
Okay.
It's a line. And part of it, if they follow the 337 part, it does go the course that she was supposed to be taking towards Canada. But if you add that 157, it actually goes further south because it was going, they needed a line because they were having issues with their plane and everything. So that's what they were saying they were going.
What do you mean they needed a line? What does that mean?
They were following a navigational line. There was a
lot
lot
that means.
of, I don't either. Like there's a lot of technical stuff involved in this. So there are charts and lines like latitude, longitude. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
He never actually says that. He just says line. And I'm like, oh, I bet he's talking about that. Anyway, this line led across Gardner Island. And they went and they looked and they were like, yep, we flew some planes over, didn't see anything. So the rest of the search is based on open ocean. And that's an insane amount of space. So that was in her flight. Her flight went down in July 2nd of 1937. So 3 months later, Britain sent an expedition to Gardner Island. They were looking to kind of colonize it because they had the natives from Gilbert Island was overpopulated, and they were like, let's see if we could send some people here. So as they're leaving, one of the officers took a photo of the western shoreline of the island because sometime in 1929, the ship, the SS Norwich City, had wrecked there in a storm. And there was like this wreckage there. Okay. And he's like, oh, that's a good picture. I'm going to take that picture. And he sent the picture home to his parents with some other stuff. And in 2010, this picture was sent to Jeff Glickman, who is a forensic imaging expert. And he's like, there's something in the water here, sticking out of the water that's not part of the reef. It's not part of the island. And so this guy he's like, I need to see this picture. Let's go to Oxford University with this picture. They've got the right sort of imaging, zoom in, enhance, zoom in, enhance.
Right, yeah.
And that's basically what they did because this original picture is wallet size. It's tiny.
Oh, man.
And there's just this little thing sticking out of the water. And they were like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
So they did all this like pixel by pixel, like imaging enhancement. He got into a lot of detailed stuff that they did there.
Could be a plane, could be a plesiosaur.
Well, it was a plane.
Okay.
It was part of a plane. It was part of landing gear. And everything that they put together, they said it looked to be like the landing gear of a Lockheed 10 Electra, which is the kind of plane that Amelia was flying. The U.S. State Department got hold of the picture and did their own research. And they said their biggest thing is that, yes, this is a picture of landing gear, but we're worried that the negative was altered to make this picture. The negative never left Fiji, which is where the British Navy ship that went to this island was stationed.
Okay.
Because in 1941, in World War II, everything was destroyed, including the negative.
Yeah.
So there was no way that it was altered later on to be like, oh yeah, we got proof of Amelia's plane, just like it looks just like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not negative. And they're like, so almost 100% positive this is a picture of landing gear of a Lockheed Electra.
Okay.
So let's go back to 1937. Nearly a week after the disappearance, that full week, there are radio distress calls coming through that are being picked up by officials and civilians across the U.S. and Canada.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you how that happens.
Okay.
Because you're just like, wait, this is how is this woman in Florida picking up this signal from the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
So there are, by international agreement during this time, the frequency of 3105 and 6210 kilohertz or kilocycles, they were called then, was only to be used by a U.S. registered air flight. And Amelia was the only U.S. registered air flight at that time.
Oh.
So they're like, no one else is allowed to use these frequencies.
Yeah.
Only Amelia, so we could follow her. Because this was international sensation.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It's a huge deal. There were press junkets, there were parades, there was all kinds of stuff going on that led up to this. So they were hearing a woman's voice coming through. A lot of the transmissions were unintelligible. And then the Itasca heard on July 2nd, they heard an unintelligible transmission, but it was the voice of a woman, and they did recognize it as Amelia's voice. Kitty cat is laying on my... He's messing up my notes.
The voice said what?
The voice. They don't know what it said. They heard this transmission at 9:55 a.m., and that was the last time they heard from her. And it was mostly unintelligible, but there was they heard low on fuel.
Oh, okay.
And she was off course. So at 9 p.m. that night, so she should have ran out of fuel and ditched into the ocean by noon.
Yeah.
Based on all their calculations of everything. At 9 p.m. that night, they get the transmission on that same frequency, but they hear a man's voice. So this is what's crazy. She had with her a navigator who was Fred Noonan. No one who wasn't landside reading the newspapers knew that Fred Noonan was on board. Everybody thought it's just by herself. She's going across this. Huh. But she had a navigator, Fred Noonan. Itasca, the Coast Guard cutter, Itasca did not know that because they were only getting coordination signals from the States and from the place in Fiji. They were like, Amelia's here, da 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 da. Amelia's here, da 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 da. Britain didn't even know that she had these people with her, which comes into play later. Or not these people, but Fred Noonan. So they got that night. The Itasca hears this man's voice on this radio frequency, and they're like, "That's got to be just somebody, who's
someone who's not supposed to be
someone who's not supposed to be on this frequency is transmitting." So they kind of just ignored it and focused on, where they expected her to be, which was totally not where she was at all. So when they reached out to Putnam, who is her husband, and there's a whole story about she's like, we're going to get married, but I'm doing what I'm doing. You're doing what you're doing. The equal breadwinners, none of this, I'm going to stay at home and watch the kids thing.
All right.
And he was like, all right, cool. I'm going to be your PR man. And he was a heck of a PR man. So
Aww,
I was like, good for him. Yeah. But so he's like, oh no, if that plane, when it's empty on fuel because of the way it's made, it's going to float for days. And so they're like, okay, she ditched in the ocean. She's floating. She's fine. We have time to find her. Well, Lockheed comes in and they're like, wait, if she's sending radio calls, if there are radio signals She is not in the water.
Yeah.
Because where the radios were, if the plane was floating, they would be underwater and unable to send signal.
Oh.
So they're like, if she's sending signals, she's on dry land.
Yeah.
Somehow she's on dry land. So, and like she has to be able to recharge the batteries of the radio. And that she has to do by running the right-hand engine, which has a generator. And that's what charges the batteries for the radio.
Huh.
So she has to be able to do these things. And that cannot be done if she's in water. So she's on dry land.
Okay.
In some form of land. The Itasca's like, nah, she's in the water. Her last message that they could read was in Norse code? No. Morse code, but it was like not really like good Morse code. It was like amateur Morse code.
Okay.
But they got 281 North Howland, can't hold much longer above water. That was the last transmission that they got.
Huh.
Okay. So they're like, she's in the water. It's fine. She's floating. We're going to go look for her. But that was an older one it wasn't right.
Yeah.
So the Navy in Pearl Harbor, which at this time was not yet the base, the Pacific Fleet was based in San Diego, and there was only one ship at Pearl Harbor, which was the battleship USS Colorado, which was on its annual ROTC training cruise. So there's a handful of officers and 96 college kids who are in Honolulu for the 4th of July.
Aww.
So they're docked, they're partying it up, and they get this thing, and they're like, hey, get back to the ship. We're going out to find Amelia.
Wow.
So 96 really angry college kids have to end their party and go back on board and get sent out. So they're like, okay, fine, we're going. So the Colorado had 3 float planes that they were able to send out. So they go out in this area. They're like, we're going to go to Gardner Island area, and they're going to fly over it. So July 9th, 1 week after her disappearance, 3 planes fly over Gardner Island. They're like doing grid passes. They're doing zooms and flybys, which are you kind of get low in and then sweep away and come back in.
Yeah.
They don't see anything. And all they're seeing is, here's the things that we know. By this time, the calls have stopped. And we know now that had she landed on this reef that's visible at low tide, there's this big stretch of reef that would make a good landing strip.
Okay.
Not smooth, but it's a landing strip. It's somewhere to land where you're not in the ocean. But at high tide, it's just waves crashing, and it's like you could never put a plane there. So the theory is that she landed on this reef at low tide, and then over the course of that week, the plane was swept off the reef and is now 1,000 or more feet underwater.
Yeah.
So these planes fly overhead, and they're like, no one's there. No one's there. They go back, and the rest of the search is open ocean. So this guy, Rick, talks about, the cat keeps trying to get on my computer. He's been to this island multiple times.
Yeah.
And he says he's flown over this island knowing there are people on the beach waving at him and can't see them. The only reason, like, he does video sweeps, and he's like, I have to freeze frame where I know people are and like zoom in and be like, oh, there's the person.
Wow.
So there's a lot of vegetation on the beaches that basically makes it like really difficult terrain in most areas. So like, even if you're back off, away from the ocean a bit, like in a camp, if you hear an airplane, you can't get out into visible space quickly.
Yeah.
You always see the desert island castaways. They run out and they're waving on the clear sandy beaches, and you're like, oh, something has appeared on the beach. It's not like that. It's all covered in vegetation. So he's like, even if someone were there and they're doing these sweeps, she couldn't have gotten out quick enough to be seen, and it would have been hard to see her anyway.
Yeah.
So they're like, man, she probably heard them, and then she heard them leave, and she knew they weren't coming back.
See. Yeah.
So the theory is that she was probably on the island for 2 months.
Oh, my goodness.
And here's why we have this theory. In the 1940s, the Gilbertese people had moved from Gilbert Islands to do some colonization on Gardner Island, and they found a human skull, which they promptly buried because of cultural beliefs like, hey, bury it, give it a nice burial, spirits will rest. And then this, I didn't write the name down. This other guy went, Gallagher is his last name. I did write it down. He hears about this skull that these islanders have found, and he's like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to look. And he goes around. He gets they let him get the skull once he explains what he's trying to do. And he also finds some more skeletal remains and the bones of a small turtle and part of a woman's shoe.
Oh.
So, and like, you think like, well, it's an island, the bones of a small turtle, that's going to be a thing. So, turtles hatch in that area late August, September. And these bones that were found with the partial remains of a skeleton and a shoe had been scraped. Like, not pecked, not chewed or anything. They had been scraped with something. Like, they sent the bones to paleontologists who do, like, they study all this. This is their life. They're like, this has been scraped with a tool.
Yeah.
Kitten. Oh my gosh. He keeps like hitting my mouth and sending my notes all over the place. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So they're now like, okay, we have found these bones. We have found this stuff. And this guy who finds them he calls his superiors in Fiji. And they're like, send it to us, keep it quiet, just in case this isn't a thing. We don't want to get people like all worked up, right?
Yeah.
So he sends these bones to Fiji to a Dr. Hoodless, who is a great doctor, great administrative person, but he has no training in forensics because forensics wasn't a thing in the 30s.
It was not.
Or in 40s. It was not a thing. But he does what he knows at the time. He measures the bones and kind of comes out and he's like, these belong to a short, stocky, probably European male. And remember, the British did not know that Noonan was with her.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, there was no man. This is probably just some random person that was there at some point in time, died. Don't worry about it. They called them the wretched relics. And they're like, and so Dr. Hoodless is like, well, what do you want me to do with these? And they're like, well, just hold on to them until we figure something out. Yeah. Don't worry about it. They're lost to time. No one knows where they are, what happened to them. They probably got thrown out. Which is unfortunate. But in his records, there are the records of the measurements and all the information that he, divined at that time about the bones. Yeah. So we have that to go on. So then this guy goes to now in did I write this down? 2018, February 2018. There was a published paper. And what they did was they took these measurements from this Dr. Hoodless in the 40s. And he's like, all right, find me a picture of Amelia with something that we can measure that shows her height, like shows how tall she is. Find me a picture of her, preferably in short sleeves, holding something that I can, again, measure and find the length and then make these. So they find a picture of her standing next to her Lockheed Vega, which is now in the National Air and Space Museum in D.C. So they go there. And like the National Air and Space Museum, when they see this Rick guy coming, they're like, this guy and his theories about Amelia. And he's like, look, I got another theory and I need to measure the prop of that plane. So they have to take the whole display down because, it's up in the air. Yeah. They bring it down. They do this all like at 5 a.m. in the morning before the museum's open. And they set the prop up exactly the way it is in the picture and they measure it. And then they can compare the measurements of her in the picture, and Amelia Earhart was 5'7" tall.
Okay.
And then they find another picture of her in Australia with her plane. And in that picture, she has on a short sleeve shirt and she's holding this can of airplane grease. And like it's visible. And they're like, okay. So the guy goes on eBay and he finds an antique can of of this airplane grease, just the can, and he buys it and brings it home and measures it. So then they can see how big it is in the picture, and they compare that to her arm length. So this confirms the bone measurements that Dr. Hoodless made. Amelia Earhart had a rare brachial index ratio. That's a word I learned that I don't really know the full meaning of, but it's basically her upper arm. So like normally your upper arm and lower arm are kind of comparative in size.
Yeah.
She had a much longer lower arm.
Okay.
Than upper arm, which is like not a defect or anything. It's just a rare difference.
Yeah.
Than normal measurements. Based on this picture, they were able to get that same measurement and it fit the bones again.
Wow.
So now we have the heights, now we have the arm and bone, and then they found her clothes in a museum and got measurements from that for her leg length, which also matched some of the bones. Wow. So they said 99.28% chance that the bones found in the 40s are actually Amelia Earhart's.
Holy crap.
They were found on the opposite side of the island, 2.5 miles from where the plane was wrecked on the reef or landed on the reef, which he says that side where the reef is, there's no winds. It's very hot. It's very barren. The other side, there's a lagoon, there's tidal pools. She had access to food. She could have set up cisterns for rainwater.
Yeah.
And there was better like areas to make camp. It was a better side.
Yeah.
So she basically got over to that side and survived. They think possibly cause of death could have been protein poisoning, which is what happens when all you do is eat protein. You don't have any carbs. Because she was just basically fish, crabs, birds, turtles. Yeah. And as far as your coconut crab theory, this guy says, okay, yes, coconut crabs are scavengers. However, they're very chill and they're very calm, and they tend to be like leftover scavengers. Usually other things get there first.
Okay.
He says his money is on the strawberry hermit crab.
Oh,
that
wow.
is all over that island. They're called that because they're the color of strawberries. And they're about baseball, softball size, I think he said. He said,
I had pet hermit crabs once named Sam and Dean.
Oh, that's cute.
It was me and my roommate.
He said these strawberry hermit crabs are aggressive scavengers. He's like, they would be there and they're like, doing their searches and stuff for artifacts. And he's like, you'd sit down, you open your lunch cooler, and these things come out of the bush and will take food out of your hands.
Oh.
If you lay down in a place and they see you, they will come up and start trying to pinch you and eat you.
Oh, my God.
And he's like,
no, thank you.
We're going that it was that, yes, like hopefully she had died prior to that happening. But yeah, it was not. Lay off the coconut crabs, okay? Just because they're giant and scary looking, they're actually quite chill. It's these little cranky things.
Oh, man.
See, it's always the little tiny things like
always
chihuahuas.
The little ones. Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking so fast, but I have so much. I have more information because we're going to talk about the transmissions that people like in Florida and Amarillo, Texas, and Louisiana heard.
Mentioned. Yeah.
So the big one, and the one we have the most solid proof of, is Betty Clank in Florida.
What a name.
I know. Klenck.
Oh.
Let me go. Okay. So one of the pastimes, I just love this time because radio is still new in the 40s or in the 30s. And people would just be like, okay, we've listened to our radio show. We've had our dinner. The kids have gone to bed. We're going to just sit and just scan through and just hear if we could pick up shortwave stuff. Because sometimes you would pick up foreign radio stations, and sometimes you could pick up some music that you wouldn't normally hear. So Betty, this happened in the afternoon in Florida, and she's just sitting there in her room and scanning through the radio stations. And she's like, wait, that's somebody's voice. I hear somebody's voice. And she grabs her notebook and she's like, I'm going to start writing down. She starts transcribing. And the coolest thing is, and if you watch this video, the guy has the notebook there because he met Betty when she was 63 and living in Illinois. And he's like, hey, can you? And she's like, oh, I got the notebook right here. This is my
goodness.
And like, it's a 1937 school notebook. It's got her little just notes from school. It's got little diary entries, but it's got these 5 pages of these transcripts of what she was listening to over the radio. And some of it, he shows a few pages in the video, and it'll say like, water knee deep. Where are you? We can't bail out. Amelia, yes. Oh, ouch. Are you so scared? What? NY. And then she wrote, or something that sounded like New York. So she's hearing these back and forth voices, a male and a female. Mm-hmm. She's hearing the male voice say Amelia. And there are also things where it's like it literally says Amelia Earhart. I'm Amelia. I'm da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, man.
She does not know the name of the island that she's on.
Yeah.
Because the map that they were using at the time, it was like one of the highest tech maps. They got it from the Navy, but it didn't go down as far south as they had ended up traveling.
Yeah.
So even if he plotted his course, he had nowhere, he could see where he was based on the stars, but he had no way of knowing where he was on the map.
Yeah.
Because the map wasn't big enough.
Oh, man.
Which is just blows my mind. Because she could have said, hey, I'm on Gardner Island.
Yeah.
So they talked about it, and the guy's like, what is this NY? And he's like, she kept saying New York City, or it sounded like she was saying New York City. Do you remember the name of the ship that's wrecked on the island there? The SS Norwich City.
Oh, man.
She was literally like saying that, but people weren't hearing this. So Betty, her dad comes home and she's like, Dad, look at this and listen to this. And he hears some of it. And he's like, let's go to the neighbors. They've got a shortwave radio. But the neighbor's antenna wasn't as strong as Betty's house antenna.
Yeah.
So they weren't picking up anything. So her dad's like, this is Amelia Earhart. So he goes to the Coast Guard in St. Petersburg, Florida. And he's like, my daughter is hearing these transmissions. This is what she's writing down. Look at the stuff. And they're like, yeah. People all over are hearing it. It's okay. It's taken care of. The Navy's got it. And they were like, go home. And people like the woman in Amarillo, she said the same thing happened to her. People were like, yeah, no, the Navy's got it. It's fine.
Oh, man.
We know.
Mass bystander effect.
Wow. And everybody's like, yeah, whatever.
We'll take care of it.
And he lists like 3 or 4 other, all women, all listening and hearing these signals and trying to tell people, and nobody will listen.
Wow.
I'm not going to go down that road, but whatever. Anyway, so the ship is there, the Norwich City. Amelia saying like, there's a ship. It's called the Norwich City here, but it's very garbled. It's very hard to like, it's a transmission that's coming out on shortwave frequencies thousands of miles away in Florida and Amarillo, Texas, and Louisiana. So it's all garbled. These women are writing out. And the reason I focus on Betty Clank is she was one of the few like that actually still, or she was the only one that they found that still had her notebook. Mm-hmm. There was another lady who had stuff and she was like, yeah, I put it in a book and I've lost the book over time in different moves and stuff like that. And so, there were, all that stuff was lost, but like he has Betty's notebook, which is just so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so much more. He gets into discussion on Fred Noonan and why, like, we found Amelia's bones and it's obvious not a guy's bones. No remains of Fred have ever been found. There were a couple mentions in Betty's book that there were 2 voices arguing, and then someone saying they were hurt. So the theory is that maybe Fred was injured either in the landing or at some point had gotten out onto the reef and then hurt himself.
Yeah.
And this guy says he's been on that reef. He's like, it's slicker than snot. There's this algae that covers it. And he says whenever they're walking, they have like 2 walking sticks for balance and stuff. He said if you fall, and he's fallen, he's like, it's all jagged. You end up with coral. I don't know what's happening.
He's in the corner.
Okay. You end up with coral like embedded in your cuts and stuff. And that's like instant infection.
Yeah.
So they're saying like if Fred Noonan had gotten out and fallen, he would be in sepsis is setting in really bad shape. So the thought is that he probably died in the plane cockpit, and when the waves came through and finally took it off the reef, he went down with it.
Yeah.
And Amelia managed to get onto the island, which is wild to me. Like, here she is on this island. She was not a survivalist, but she did pretty good for herself.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So I'm going to skip ahead to some of the evidence that makes this guy 100% sure. I told you about the bones of the turtle being scraped.
Yeah.
So they said it's been scraped. The meat has been scraped off these bones by something.
Yeah.
So they found this glass jar that had been broken, and they found all the little pieces, and they fit together to make this perfect little jar, which they believe is the freckle cream jar.
Oh.
So there was a product of freckle cream, and I can't remember it's like Dr. So-and-so's freckle cream. And Amelia was known for hating her freckles. She was also known for always like, I'm going to be in the press. I need to look good. I always, she always had to look good. And there was a parade where she complained that she didn't want to do the parade because she didn't have a hat. And that meant she was going to be in the sun and her freckles were going to come in stronger. And it wasn't going to be great for the photos for the press. So the odds are, like, we don't know what personal inventory she had with her, like personal effects and stuff. But odds are that since she knew she was going to be landing and there was going to be press, she had her freckle cream with her. So this jar, this broken jar that he found is the exact same size as the Dr. So-and-so's freckle cream. And it had been broken in a way that there was a piece that was curved that you could hold. And when they showed this to paleontologists, the one side that would have been like if you had held the lid of the jar, the bottom of it had been worn in this way that suggested scraping. It was used to scrape.
Wow.
Which is just like, okay. I mean, scraped bones, item used for scraping? What?
Yeah.
I'm sold 100%.
That is really awesome.
One of the other things they found is part of a jackknife. And it was just like the body part, like the outer part of it. And when they showed it to people, they're like, oh, that's a double-bladed bone-handled jackknife from the Olympic Cutlery Company in Portland, Maine. Like, people who know knives, they saw it and they were like, I know exactly what that piece is. So 2 trips later, he finds more of that, and it's more of the body of the knife, like where the internal part where the blades would be attached. Okay. But the blades are not there. And he's like, man, I really want to find the blades. And they had some experts look at it, and they're like, well, this has been bent, and the blades have been forced off of it. Okay. And the theory is there that she would have pulled those blades off, maybe attached them to something to spear fish. Yeah. So, of course, those are gone.
So she's
improvising tools and weapons to fish with. Yeah. Which is like wild. And then they found a zipper pull. And this is my fun little thing about the zipper, because I did not know this. The zipper was not called a zipper. Zipper is a brand name by the Talon Company.
Oh my gosh.
That made hookless fasteners.
Wow. I did not know that.
They did not become called a zipper till much, much later. And so this company, Talon Company, was trying to get like, gentlemen, put zippers in your pants instead of all those buttons. But the problem was the zippers would just come down. And that's not a good look. Yeah. So in 1933, they patented an auto lock. So, and you've seen that where like you press the zipper down, the zipper pull, and it kind of clicks and it doesn't unzip.
Yeah.
So they patented that in 1933. And they began to be exported in 1936 and were stamped with USA on them.
Okay.
So this zipper pull that they found was not stamped USA, but it was stamped with the Talon Company. So that puts it in the right time frame.
Yeah.
Between 1933 and before it was exported in 1936, and she crashed in 1937 or landed on Gardner Island in 1937. There was also, there's a piece of aircraft skin, which he went into massive amounts of detail. I'm not going to go into here. But that's another thing that he went into on that they believe is part of her plane.
Aircraft skin.
So that's what the aluminum part of an aircraft is called. The outer thing is called the skin. Okay. Did not know that. I learned that here. I didn't know
either.
But also they could tell, like, based on the rivets and the age of the metal and stuff, they knew it was made by Lockheed, and they were pretty sure that this was part of metal that was used to repair damage to her plane before she took off.
Oh.
And he goes into the whole science behind all of that too, which is like, what?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's crazy.
I'm tired. I feel like I'm like, my voice
and
is
I'm just
going.
like,
I'm just
keep going.
Keep going, go.
We're only an hour and 33 minutes in.
Oh, okay. I could talk. I feel like I've been going at this for an hour.
Got plenty of time.
Okay.
I looked up strawberry hermit crabs.
Aren't they adorable?
They're really cool.
But they're like vicious, apparently, like super aggressive scavengers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he was like, you sit down, they're coming after you. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Look at the black strawberry hermit crab is awesome.
Oh my gosh, they're so
really,
cute.
really, really deep red color.
I love them.
Yeah.
They're so cute. Okay. I actually am starting to get close to the edge of my notes now that I look at this. Okay, cool. So the other theory is that there was a cover-up.
Oh.
A government cover-up.
All right. Talk to me about conspiracies.
Okay. This isn't a big conspiracy theory. There was a government cover-up about Amelia's disappearance.
There was?
Yes. But mostly it was because
the Navy didn't handle it when everybody thought they would.
Well, there's that. Well, they did what they thought they had to do. They searched the island where they thought, they did. They just probably weren't as thorough as they could have been. Yeah. But Roosevelt spent $40 million on the search. So they did put forth some effort.
Okay.
Also, I learned that Eleanor Roosevelt and Amelia Earhart were besties.
Aww.
And Amelia Earhart taught Eleanor Roosevelt how to fly.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
See, now somebody needs to write a little historical fiction children's book about Millie and hang on, Amelia Earhart and what would her nickname be? Eleanor.
Ellie. Amy and Ellie.
Millie and Ellie.
Oh, Millie. I like that.
Yeah.
I was going with Amy. Millie and Ellie learned to fly. I love that.
That's cute.
Let's make it happen.
Okay. Amy and Ellie is also cute. That's got sort of alliteration there. I like that.
Oh,
better.
yeah. Amy and Ellie. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. We're going to do that.
Okay.
Trademark.
Okay.
So there was a meeting, and I can't remember. I didn't write down all the details because I was listening to this podcast for the second time on 2x speed trying to get all my notes done.
Oh, man.
But Henry Morgenthau was in a meeting and received a phone call from Eleanor Roosevelt's secretary. So the meeting was being transcribed. So we only have Henry's side of the conversation.
Okay.
And there's a lot to it. And you can look this up in documents that were released in the Freedom of Information Act in 1987.
Oh.
And also the rest of...
Along with the MK Ultra files.
And also the rest of Amelia's classified documents were released in 2025.
Oh.
I learned that today, too.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I have to go back to the FBI website again. No, I didn't do that. I didn't have time, which is terrible because we went to every 2 weeks, so I have time.
Yeah, and it's been like 3 weeks since the last time we're
trying, people. Bear with it.
Yep.
Anyway, so Henry's side of the conversation was basically, we can't do that. If we do that, if we release this report, Amelia Earhart's name and reputation is finished. And she's attached to the Roosevelt campaign. She's campaigned for you. The elections are coming up. We can't release this. So everything was kept classified and remained classified until I said 87. It was 1982. And basically it was just that like she had landed and survived, because even in this time, like just shortly after this, she was such an inspiration to women and girls everywhere. You know, she's doing I gave you that long list of her achievements in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
And so she just was like, people were like inspired, and she had this huge legendary, kind of personality already.
Yeah.
And she was likable. Like the press loved her. She was a likable person anyway. And they were just like, if we tell them that she died on this island because let's just keep the legend alive. Let's just keep it going, which I'm kind of okay with that. Like, yes, like don't, but also like it maybe work a little harder to find her.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to all these women who are coming to you with their notebooks and saying, I heard on my radio on the frequency that no one else is allowed to use. This woman is out there.
Yeah.
Go find her.
Mm-hmm.
Go. And they're like, nah, it's good. We got it. Go home. Go back to the kitchen and sit down and make me a sandwich. So anyway, she was also, I'm just going to wrap up with this last little bit. She was a very successful and heavily promoted writer who was the aviation editor for the Cosmopolitan from 1928 to 1930. She wrote magazine articles, newspaper columns, essays, and published 2 books based on her experience as a flyer, which I want to get them.
Yeah.
So the first book is titled 20 Hours, 40 Minutes. It was published in 1928, and it's a journal of her experience as the first woman passenger on a transatlantic flight. And then in 1932, she published The Fun of It, which is a memoir of her flying experiences and an essay on women in aviation.
Well, I want that one.
I know. Her last book was going to be titled World Flight, which would be her journey to circumnavigate the globe, which she didn't do. She was almost there. She was almost there. She just had to get to California or Canada, I think, wherever she was going.
I think you said Canada.
Yeah, she was going to Canada. Anyway, so this was actually published in 1937, entitled Last Flight, and it featured periodic journal entries that she sent to the U.S. during her flight that were published in newspaper in the weeks prior to her departure from New Guinea. This was compiled by her husband, G.P. Putnam, after her disappearance. And a lot of people consider this like only partially her stuff, and a lot of more kind of input from her husband on this book. And then the other book that I want to get is Rick Gillespie's book, which is out now. It's called One More Good Flight, which is, the title is based on a quote that Amelia gave before she set out. She said, I think I have one more good flight in me, which is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of research. He talks about a lot of the things that he talked about in this interview, but he also did a lot of research into finding out who she was as a person, kind of going back through journal entries and people who knew her, who wrote journal entries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of the newspaper bias, and her husband, like I said, he was a great PR guy, but he was a PR guy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of she's awesome, Yeah. So I do want to get this book and kind of read into it and learn a little bit more about her. And maybe I'll get these and maybe do a little follow-up at some point in the future. That would be really
cool.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah. And I will get certified as a Sylvotherapist.
Yes, I think you should. And let's go into the woods.
Okay.
Into the woods. Wait, no, that's not how that goes. How does that go?
Have you seen Into the Woods?
No, but I've heard you sing that before.
Into the woods to grandmother's house and home before dark.
Yeah, I've heard you do that. I have not seen it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am done talking.
Wow.
My voice hurts. I felt like I had 5 pages of notes, and I'm just blah, 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 blah.
I love it. That's so fascinating. I did not know about any of that.
Any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember hearing like, oh, there were bones found that might be hers.
Yeah.
And the coconut crab theory.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know, like, this guy has been to Gardner Island multiple times. They've spent millions of dollars. And there's actually a group going out sponsored by National Geographic in November of this year. They think there was like a satellite photo, and they're like, oh, there's something in the water. It looks like a plane. And this guy is like, I'm pretty sure that's one of the big trees off the island, because they tend to fly. He's like, we've been all over there. He's like, I will be the first person to say if that is the airplane. He's like, I'm going to be there like, hot dang, you got it. Congratulations. This is awesome. He's like, but he says he's like perfectly convinced that it's underwater off the reef somewhere. Very deep. So it would take a lot more to get in there, because that where it is, the water's very rough, even at low tide when the reef is visible. The currents under there, it's all very dangerous.
So even remote divers
would still struggle. But yeah, that would be the kind of thing that would have to be gone. They'd have to look there for the plane. And it's like, I think he said like 1,200 feet deep. Okay. Which is pretty deep for ocean. I'm not going to do it. That's too deep. I'm starting to get anxiety. Okay. Let's talk about something else. Should we draw cards? Should we?
I guess so. Yeah.
And then we'll do War Member?
Yeah.
Okay.
We end with War Members.
Okay. All right. I'm going to spread the cards out, and you can do the...
So, yeah, if you want to help support our show, you can join our Patreon. We're at patreon.com/JessandHids. Our new podcast, I got the notification. It is after midnight. It's live. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely live by the time you're hearing this podcast, because it was released on a Wednesday, and you're hearing this, either Thursday or later. But yeah, become a supporter of both shows. That would be great. Jess and Hids. Nope. Patreon.com/JessandHids. But you can also find that link on our website, jessandhids.com. Something else that is live on our website right now is our April scavenger hunt. Just launched 30 minutes ago at the time of recording this podcast. If you want to participate in our scavenger hunt, we've listed them for $6 to participate. And we have prizes for first, second, and third. But honestly, the goal is just to have fun, not to win. We have a Discord server that you can join and share progress on the scavenger hunt, or just join to be a part of our little community. We've got some fun channels on there.
Yes.
You can also find the link to that. I meant to do that today. I was going to put a link right on the homepage of our website. I will do that tomorrow while I edit this podcast. So it'll be there by the time you hear this. So yay. Join our Discord, join Patreon. You can even follow us for free if you'd like.
But all the fun stuff happens with the Patreon.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to say, if you would like to suggest a topic for this podcast, email us at jessandhids@gmail.com.
Yay!
Oh, also, last thing, follow us on social media. That's it.
Oh, yeah. We're there.
Yeah.
And occasionally we post.
Yeah. Just look for Jess and Hids.
All right. Let's draw a card and tell me about your War Member.
Okay. Doot. I'm drawing first. Buddy, do not walk across my computer.
Just going to do it.
Okay. I don't know this one, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Okay. Mine is very broad.
Cool. This one is very specific. I'm just not entirely sure why, but I'll find out.
Okay, intriguing. Yeah. Cool. Warm Ember?
Okay, my warm ember. I mentioned on the last podcast that our little little princess cat, Shen, was having seizures. And she actually has not had one that we know of, not while we're home, since then. And we took her to the vet. She's on medication now. And her blood work came back normal.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's my warm ember. Everything is hopeful and everything is going well. The vet even warned that once we have her on the medication, the seizures might increase until it reaches therapeutic levels. But they haven't.
Oh, she's been doing really good.
Yeah.
I have a few marks on my hand. She hasn't been super excited, but she's
getting
getting better.
Pill is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I'm feeling my old vet days.
Yeah.
I have so many scars on my arms and hands from the vet days,
man.
and now I have more.
Yeah.
So I like
both hands.
Center palm of my hand. Like, what?
Was one of those today?
No, they were from there. These were both from the other day when she was like really upset with us.
She would the first couple of times we gave her the pill, she was like, "Oh, this is weird," but whatever. Like she didn't really put up much of a fight, but then she raged.
She was like, "Oh no, you didn't."
But then today it has gotten better.
Yeah,
she's got twice a day medication. Yeah. So
I think she's figuring it out that we aren't like trying to be mean to her.
Yeah, she gets treats afterwards.
She does.
So. Sometimes she doesn't care about the treats. She just wants to be left alone. Yeah. How dare you?
How very dare.
But she is doing good. What's your warm ember?
My warm ember is...
Why are you whispering?
I'm trying to think. My warm ember is that, well, two things. Three things. I have this precious little stray cat curled up, and she doesn't normally cuddle. She just dropped in my lap, and her little eyes are closed, and she's just purring, and she's adorable. Also, it rained today, and that was wonderful.
Yes.
It hasn't rained in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's been overcast and chilly all day and wonderful.
It's been nice.
And my other warm ember is that we're going to go be in the woods this weekend. I'm making that happen.
We're going to practice. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, though, because also in that book, he talks about something called the POMO test.
Okay.
It's the letters stand for something. It's like a way to measure your mood.
Oh, okay.
You take it before your hike or your Sylvotherapy session and after.
Okay.
And compare the results. We should do that.
Okay. We'll do that, and we'll get back to you in 2 weeks when we come back to our podcast again.
Yeah.
I love that. We're going to do that. Oh, I want to go sit in the woods.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do that.
That's I had a multifaceted warm ember.
Yeah. Well, it was actually just 3 separate warm embers, but
it was a multifaceted warm ember.
Sure.
Every one of those facets brought me joy.
Yeah.
Also, this white cat has... Oh, I woke him up. He just like passed out on all the cards on the desk.
But
I love him.
Now he's awake.
But I touched him.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Okay. Yeah, that's it for this week. We will talk at you in 2 weeks. I can't say talk at you next week anymore. Talk at you next time?
Talk at you next time.
Talk at you next time.
Stray
She's
now.
not purring anymore.
She got really quiet.
Yeah, because there's a microphone in her face.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Talk at you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.